So, some of you guys, it's been a long time since you guys have had a romantic time with your partner. I think it's been a struggle trying to get things in a very balanced place, and it's finally getting there. For others, it's still work in progress, but at least you're kind of getting into that or at least it feels like you're getting a little bit closer to what it is that you guys are trying to get to, which is a little more romance, a little more time spent with each other. You know what I'm saying? Um, the situation though looks like it is very, it's very, it looks like you guys are trying very hard. We family are trying very hard to work with what we got, and it's very hard to do that when we find that other people may be, uncompliant, not really working with us. Because I mean, how this reading is looking right now is that there's really weird energy here that this is like, oh yeah, this is fun. Oh yeah, this is fun in the moment, but they're not doing anything to kind of help bring things along. And it's kind of it looks like here too that there is some sort of like there's a feeling like there's something missing, but the other person doesn't see that that's part that area in the relationship is missing. Like, for instance, like you may notice that there's no eggs in the refrigerator, but everybody thinks, everybody that you live with or the person that you live with is like, well, what do you mean? We have plenty of eggs in the fridge. They're not aware of what they're not aware of what's missing because they don't think that's missing. They think that they're doing that. That's what it looks like. Okay, it looks like they're putting in they think they're putting in the work when they're in actuality they're not really doing it. Okay. Very interesting. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with this person on this side here. Page of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles here coming up in the mind space for this person. And please pick the side that resonates with you guys the most. It doesn't really matter which side you pick. As long as it resonates and it doesn't, if it doesn't, it's okay. I have plenty of options for your personal readings at that point. But the Seven of Pentacles is like somebody's looking at a situation and having a hard time figuring out what else to do, right? I think they've done the best they could. They've done everything that they can. They really are seriously trying to figure out what to do with this relationship at this point because they have put in so much time, so much effort, and yet there's not much to show for it right now. I think right now the situation is really evident. This person is going to have to just kind of be patient and hope for the best, because the situation with the Seven of Pentacles shows that this person is working very hard and they have been working very hard in the relationship, but I think they're trying to figure out either two things. Either they don't figure out what to do, how to continue to put work, build a relationship, be happy in the relationship, somehow get what they feel like they need in the relationship, which is very apparent that they feel like they don't have a lot of support here. They feel like they have a relationship, but what kind of relationship is it without a support, without people that you could connect with, or at least a person that you could connect with? Maybe you guys are missing friends. Maybe, there's somebody here that's investing a lot more in the relationship, and that has put them in a place of isolation where there's no friendships. There's no one that they know around them. That's kind of what it looks like here too. Right? It's like they chose the relationship, but then in turn they've lost friendships, they've lost opportunities. They may regret those loss of opportunities, but at the same time, they still know that they love the person, and at the end of the day, those friends, they will, if they were truly there to be there, they were truly your friends, they will be there to support you. At the end of the day, I kind of feel like it's not necessarily just isolation. It's also like not feeling like you have the support. You're not having fun in your relationship. Like that part is missing, and with the Two of Cups coming up like that, it's right behind you. The potential for great happiness is there, but the focus is on what you don't have. So the person's having a harder time figuring out what needs to be done because they're not looking in the right direction anyway. You know what I'm saying? So this person's like, hey, I want to do more. I want to do more, but they're looking at what they don't have. I feel like if they look towards what they want to feel, what they want to experience, or figuring out what they have and figuring out how to work with what they've got, they'll, there's some things that will pop up like as a notification as to what to do, right? Something will pop up in your brain and be like, okay, so this is what I need to do because this is what I've got, versus trying to figure out what to do, with what they don't have. And that's harder, It is. It's so hard, especially when it comes to relationships where everybody isn't, equal in the sense. Usually the Two of Cups does have very similar feelings, similar ways of thinking, similar ways of communicating. Sometimes it's just literally the similar way of feeling. And that's not a bad thing. But at the end of the day, this may not be what this person, well, that may not be enough for this person. At the end of the day, I think the situation is that the person has to just kind of look at what they have to be able to figure out what needs to be done. But until then, this person is seeing the situation and they're looking at it and they're stumped. They don't know what else to do. They don't know what else they need to put in. Interactions seem to be falling through. Whatever happens on their end, it doesn't really work out. And they keep, they're looking at what they don't have. They're looking at the things that haven't worked out, and they're feeling stuck. They feel like they don't know what else to do. They know that there's a need for there to be some sort of changes, but they don't know what changes to make. So, that being said, the other person is coming into this relationship thinking of the Three of Cups. And that to me thinks of having fun, connecting with people, connecting with friends, mingling, the support network. I don't think this person lacks in that area. I think this person is having a good time in the relationship. Somebody is enjoying the relationship. It's blissful. But at the same time, they're the high priestess. So they're receiving a lot of a lot of fun, a lot of good times. They're receiving things that they are enjoying, but the high priestess, she doesn't take action on anything. So it's very clear that this person almost feels like she's this person is accommodated for. Like they can do everything that they want to do. They can feel pretty they feel fine. They don't necessarily need to go out and do anything else because they got the support of the relationship to help them do that. It's almost like they're just allowing things to just kind of happen for them because they know that with patience they will things will come to their door. They're open to receiving. Now, the difference between this person and the other person is that this person is looking at what's not there, trying to figure out a solution for it versus allowing themselves to just be open to receiving. They're looking towards trying to do stuff, and that, in a sense, always puts them in a situation or energy to do stuff. While this person is happy where they are, not necessarily romantic, but they're having a good time. The Three of Cups to me is someone that has a good time, someone that feels supported, someone feels like they're supportive, but in actuality they're not really putting anything into the relationship. The high priestess is very passive. She doesn't do anything. So when she comes up, I don't really see this person contributing very much in the relationship. I think they are, but in actuality they're not. Which is why this person may be feeling like they don't have the support that they need, but they're willing to support the other person, but this person doesn't even realize because they're not seeing what they need to see over here. Usually the high priestess is very observant. She's she's open to messages and things. She's not oblivious to stuff. She knows what she's doing. She knows what's going on. So with the high priestess being in that place, it's kind of hard to believe this person doesn't know what they're doing. It's kind of hard to believe that this person doesn't know that they're not being supportive. They're not doing anything that is supportive. And even though they know that either they need to have that there, or they need to provide support, or that they need support themselves, they're not saying anything. They're not communicating it. They're not even extending themselves to give that support either. So it's it's both ways, right? Now, this person can also start feeling like this is like a friendship situation. Like it's no longer romantic now. It's like, okay, they've gotten to this point where things haven't been happening. I'm not, no interest, no action done, nothing being received. That, nothing being, no action being taken. That to the point where everybody's kind of being seen as a friend or something similar. So I'm going to actually clarify the Three of Cups. Why do we have the Three of Cups in the mind space for this person on this side here? Knight of Swords. Why is the Knight of Swords coming up for the Three of Cups? Because the Two of Pentacles. Okay. Alright, yeah, this relationship, it's, okay, alright. So the Two of Pentacles is coming up for the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is coming up for the Three of Cups. Like I said, Three of Cups is all about support, friendships, close-knit groups, people that, are significant in your life, but they're not necessarily romantic. That's platonic energy. The reason why that energy is coming up because of the Knight of Swords, I think they've kind of I kind of feel like this person's kind of regressed to the friendship. And it's weird to say regressed because knowing Aquarius and how love is the higher vibration of all, and in friendships, right? It kind of feels like this person, because of a lot of fighting, because of a lot of things that they were distracting themselves with, I think somebody kind of brought that to light, but that kind of killed the vibe, that killed the energy in a way. Um, well, it's weird. I don't think it killed anything. I think what it did mostly is that it's so weird to have these two cards here, because what it looks like to me is that this person may have been focusing on something other than how they felt, and that kind of ignoring the situation eventually kind of got to a point where this person got really aggressive. Either got really aggressive, or this person became, just decided to just tackle it clearly, or somebody made it brought to someone else. I think maybe this person on this side maybe brought to this other person's attention that they're not acknowledging that there's something going on, and they understand that the relationship now needs support, needs to have a little bit more interactions with one another. With the Knight of Swords, somebody may have come in and been like, hey, this is what I need, this is my truth, this is where I'm standing, and then now there's like this understanding, but that's pretty much it. Like, that's it. Let me see. Why is the High Priestess coming up for this person in their present? The oh my gosh. That's so strange. So the Five of Swords. So this person's honestly quiet because they feel defeated. It's weird. Like, this person is not is passive because they only consider themselves. They only consider what they want. I don't know if it's necessarily that they feel defeated here. Like, I do kind of get this feeling that there was arguments, there was fighting now because of the Five of Swords coming up into this. But to be very honest with you, Libra, this person looks like they kind of went to a friendly kind of place in their mind regarding the relationship. Like, they just think, okay, friendships, something light, something, nothing serious or anything like that. And it's because they couldn't really put their finger on whether or not they wanted to commit to something or not. They're looking at the situation from a very practical view, but now how they feel is more of like, regarding the relationship, is that it's very platonic, it's very friendly, it's not romantic, and it has a lot to do with a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting. Okay, and that's part of the reason why this person doesn't really take action. Now, usually the High Priestess is very sexual. She goes to pomegranates, and the image for the High Priestess does indicate, sexuality, fertility. But the Five of Swords, it's almost like this person doesn't take action on that because they already get what they want. They're not focused on what other people may need. They're focusing on what they want specifically. And this may be because of the Seven of Cups. They have been kind of like under this illusion that things are just cool and things are just fine, and they constantly are like that. Or this person is like not quite sure of what is reality for them. They're just kind of all up in their own little world, it seems like. Why is the Seven of Cups coming up? Why is the Seven of Cups coming up for this person? Oh god. More confusing energy. Oh, wow. The reason why the Seven of Cups is coming up is because of the Lovers and the Ace of Pentacles. What the hell is going on? This just got really weird. It's got really freaking weird. And the reason why it got weird is because Seven of Cups is all about choices, decisions, fantasy, unreal, some things not being realistic. It's opposite Seven of Pentacles, where you're looking at what needs to be done, trying to figure out a strategy to kind of, push things forward in a direction that, does improve, that does, that can, manifest into reality. The Seven of Cups is all dreams and ideas and wishes that don't really necessarily have the promise of coming true, right? You have to kind of take a chance with that Seven of Cups. But the reason why it's coming up is because of the Lovers and the Ace of Pentacles. It's almost like this person decided or made a decision based off of how they felt about the person, um, and what logically made sense to them. It's almost like this person, it's really weird. It looks like this person looks at the situation from the standpoint of, okay, well, the possibility of this relationship going in a direction where I can benefit from it is very high. I don't want to say that this person's all out manipulating anybody or trying to use people, but I kind of get the sense that this person does not take very much responsibility for their actions, or if they do, they're totally aware that they're doing stuff from their own perspective, or from for what they want to do. This person is not considering the other person at all. This person is very self-absorbed. All right, this person right here. High Priestess, Five of Swords, that's not someone that's considering other people. Alright, it could indicate too that this person has shut down, like the High Priestess is showing here. This person has shut down, not been emotionally available, and not really, it's emotionally available to other people. This person is very emotionally private. They're very private individuals to kind of get the sense of that nobody kind of gets through to that individual. Like the High Priestess, no one knows how she feels. She's feeling everything, but no one knows how she feels. And it's because maybe the arguments that they've had, they haven't really been able to justify. They haven't been able to really get through. That maybe they feel like they've been defeated in a lot of arguments or something like that. And they just decided to say, you know what, I'm not giving anymore. I'm not doing it. I don't think this is talking about a third party situation up here before anybody says that. And I always say that too because I don't want this situation to be go like, oh, it's because there's another person involved. No, this doesn't necessarily have to be the case. I think the situation is that, they were maybe juggling other things. Their focus was on something else, something that didn't matter within the relationship, right? Money, what have you, right? Their focus was elsewhere. But then when it came to actually looking at what the hell was wrong with the relationship, I think, which is why we have a shutdown situation right now. This person is, seeing this situation as, okay, we got to get back on a friend-to-friend basis. We got to get back to reconnecting. I think this person desires to reconnect. I think this person is probably thinking that this situation needs to reconnect. But at the same time, with the High Priestess coming up in the Five of Swords, like I think that they're shut down because of the fighting, because of the argument, because of the aggression. And the reason why they're like this is because maybe their dream of being in a relationship is a lot harder than they realize. Or they're not sure if it can really be a reality because of the Seven of Pentacles coming up, right? It's just they kind of feel like it's maybe a fantasy. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Lovers is someone that's investing investing in the relationship, investing in love, but they have to kind of be a little bit more hopeful about it. It's like this person's having to be more emotionally open, but they're having a hard time doing that. And that's what's causing a lot of the fights. This person on this end, though, like I said, this person is focusing on what's missing. The relationship is obviously still intact, but they're just looking at what's not there, what's not working, and they're trying to figure out what they need to do, what needs to work, what needs to happen for there to be the balance they need or the relationship that they want. And the reason why they're in this position is because they're in a relationship. Because the Lovers are showing that they're in love. They know who they love. They know what they love. They know they are in love. That's just why they're so focused on trying to fix this. But I don't think this is something they can fix. I think this is the situation. Whatever happened, it's happened. It's more of like the Lovers is here, and this person is using their mind. Like, you remember what I say about the Lovers, right? The Lovers is never really just a decision. It's more about acceptance. I think the thing is this person's having a hard time accepting what's not there or what hasn't never been there in the first place. Even no matter how hard they've worked on this, no matter how hard they've been, investing time in the relationship, they're just never going to get what they were looking for. So they're just going to have to either accept what they have here or kind of, shift their focus to what they do desire and make that happen based off of, shifting their energy. But ultimately, the Lovers is here because I don't think they've truly accepted the other person. Alright, to be honest, the Lovers is not just about, oh, this is a loving relationship, this is a soulmate relationship. I think this person's having to realize that, hey, You know, you can't change people. You can't change a situation. No matter how hard you try, the situation is always going to look like this because those cups that had that drink in there is gone. It's not there anymore. You're going to have to literally go back and go refill it. And at the same time, who's to say that the same situation is not going to happen again and again and again and again? Right? You have to change your pattern. You have to change the way you receive information and receive love from this person, and it may not be the way that this, the way you wanted it to be or how it used to be, but who you working with now will benefit the most. Well, understanding who you're working with now is going to help you, because that way you can work on the relationship in a better light. You know, you can work on the relationship and really start getting results that are healthy for both of you guys, instead of just kind of ignoring the fact that, hey, there's nothing that's going to change about what's going on. You know, now what's interesting is that what brought you two together was Page of Wands, like passion, you know, a spark of, of interest, a spark of energy. You guys both inspired each other. I think you guys both had a lot of, youthful energy that you guys used together. But now it's almost like that little small spark burnt out. It didn't really have much to go on, and now you're trying to figure out how we can be content in the relationship, because there's no contentment here. Like, there is literally nothing going on here that makes anybody happy. Okay, let's see what the the power of surrender cards say. Surrender to creativity. All right. Alright, so let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Yeah, man. The only way you're going to be able to fix something is by thinking outside of the box and thinking away from what you don't have. Because if you do that, if you keep in that direction where there's always something missing, it's going to be harder to come up with a decision. Not impossible, just a lot harder. And with the other person here, I think this person definitely has to be more open to more ideas. I think this person already is, with the High Priestess being in their body, right? They're showing that they're open, but they're just not taking action right now. I think they're just trying to I think they understand that there is a need for reconnection, or a need for love to be returned in the relationship, or at least getting in a very, getting into a place where both of you guys can enjoy each other's company without fighting, without being, without letting outside factors affect the relationship. Because I kind of feel like that's what's been going on too, and not shutting down, because when stuff gets difficult, it's better to just shut up. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. And I feel like this person being open to different ideas, or at least open to receiving different stuff, I think they're able to at least try to work on the relationship in the best way possible. They know this is just beginning. They know, honestly, this relationship is just starting out, and it's going to be difficult. But I feel like this person's definitely willing to put in the work, because this is ultimately something that they know can manifest, can grow to something bigger than what it is now. But it's going to take time and effort. It's just, there's a lot going on, guys.